What is up, everybody? Meriden Gaming here, and we're back for another World of Tanks Victory Tank Showcase and review. Today we're taking a look at one of the Tier 7 German tank destroyers, the Jagdpanther. As you can see here, very similar design to the previous tank in this line, with the angular front plates and the slightly angled side plate, although not quite as much as previously. But the armor really didn't increase all that much, if at all. We took a look at the actual armor profile. Yeah, pretty much everything is going to pin you because 121, 119, 117, that's really not that much at tier 7. Even the top plate is very weak, so if they're even slightly above you, or if they're a turreted tank, they're going to be able to shoot down on this upper plate if they get too close to you. You do have some angular sides to where you can bounce rounds there, but for the most part, everybody's going to be able to pin you in this thing, so you definitely have to stay back right at the edge of view range to where you can, make use of what camo you do have and make use of gun accuracy to actually do some damage. Let's go ahead and get over to the comparison. So we got a few that are fairly similar designs. The SMV Conticaro 56 is a little bit different because it is slightly turreted, but for the most part, they're all front mounted guns for tank destroyers. Alright, so let's get down to the actual nitty gritty of it. So penetration 200, which is better than a couple of these, but anything over 200 is decent for a tier 7. You'll definitely be able to pin a lot of the tier 8s, maybe not the tier 9s, but it does work, so it's not too bad. Damage of 320, so kind of on par with a couple of the other ones. The SU having the larger caliber gun, of course, can go through stuff better than you can, but other than that, they're pretty balanced across the board for the most part. Then we get down to our reload time. So your reload time is a little bit on the slower side. You have to ignore this because this does have an autoloader. But definitely better than the AMX AC46 and on par with the other two. So kind of, yeah, they pretty much across the board are pretty close in terms of gun stats. Your shell velocity, decent. Anything around 1,000 for your standard shells is pretty good. And then you're kind of on the low end on your ammo capacity. I haven't run out in one of these, but I could see if you are firing as soon as you're reloaded, you could actually run out of ammo by the end of the match. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gold round, which is an APCR, so you don't have to worry about anything blocking you. So you got 244 penetration, so you can deal with most tier 8s. Of course, everything lower than you and same tier, you shouldn't have a problem pinning with that. But those tier 8s and tier 9s, especially the heavy tanks, you're going to have problems penetrating those with just 244. But it does step up our shell velocity to almost 1,200 feet per second. Or is it second? I don't know. Whatever, 1,200. So you don't have to lead quite as much as you do with some of the others. Then we get down to the gun handling. You definitely have the best aim time here. Anything under 2 is really, really good. And your dispersion is right on par with everyone, if not better. The .33, you'll be able to hit stuff at longer ranges, but it's still not pinpoint accurate. But I really did enjoy playing this tank. It was decently accurate for me. Let's see, we get down to, of course, elevation and gun depression really don't matter because you're on a non-turreted tank, so you can't really raise it that much or lower it that much. You're not going to be able to use hills like you could with a turreted tank. Then we get down to our speed. So this is one thing where it steps up a little bit from the previous tank. You are 55 kilometers per hour, so definitely better than everyone else here. In fact, your ground resistances are also better than everything else. So you will be able to get around better than, well, other than the AC on the soft ground, you'll be able to get around faster than everyone else, get to those positions and actually take shots at them as they're moving into position. So super handy. And then finally we get down to our armor. Like I said, I don't think this actually increased from the previous tank. If not, or if it did, it's very little. But yeah, you're one of the lowest armored tanks here, especially compared to the Conticaro and the Chaito, the new Japanese ED. You're not actually going to be able to go through the front of these because the angled armor of those, maybe the lower plate of the Conticaro and maybe the lower plate of the Chaito, but yeah, facing them straight on, you're not going to have much of a chance there. And then camo. Yeah, this thing is a little bit taller than the previous thing, so the camo is not quite as good here. And your view range is okay. You're not really going to be spotting for yourself unless you really pump up that view range. Speaking of which, what would we do for our skills? So, what we're going to do? We've got our vents, of course. We're going to want our gun rammer. So the question comes down to, do you want to go into view range or do you want to use camo? Most of the time, I try to go for camo. You could, if we swap these around, the other setup I run on a lot of my stuff, what I put there, is I put the gun rammer in the first one because, that is the slot that gets the bonus, and then I go with something like Binox. You could go with coated optics and low noise exhaust as well as another option, but this is a really good setup. Um, you could probably take something like improved aiming or anything else like that, but this is the setup I tend to run a lot of just because it gives me the ability to stay hidden but still spot for myself. So skills, camouflage, brothers in arms are definitely going to want concealment. Eventually, we're going to want recon. Of course, the turret dispersion does not work since you don't rotate your turret. I haven't tested that. I really need to test that. We're definitely going to want intuition to switch between different things. Smooth ride, eventually recon, and eventually situational awareness. Alright, so how does that affect our tank? So we get our reload time down below 7 seconds, so that's really good. Our dispersion gets down to 0.32. Like I said, you could change that up a bit if you wanted to, depending on your equipment setup. But the real question is, yeah, when we get down here. So your non-moving camo is 43. If you didn't know, if you're double bushed, you get a plus 50, and the max is 80. So you're actually overkill here, but when you're singularly bushed, you're not going to get spotted. So kind of depends on what you like. And then the moving camo of 18.6, so not great. If you're at the edges of view range, they won't spot you, but they still can spot you somewhat. But that view range, that's what I was talking about. Now you can spot for yourself. So the one other option, let's go ahead and swap this from camo net to the low noise exhaust. And this is a standard because I know most people are not going to have the upgraded equipment. That gets us up to 23 and 33. So this, if you're double bushed, will max you out. And 23, you can move around pretty well without getting spotted. So yeah, decent setup. And you still have that view range whenever you stop for 3 seconds. Anyway, let's go ahead and get over to the gameplay. We're going to be watching Frantic O2 Jagdpanther on Cliff. Increase the size of that and play. Alright, so they do have a dual setup here. Gotta get out of the way of everyone. Like a tier 6, tier 7 game, so it should do pretty well. Alright, going towards the bowl location. Oh, did he disconnect? There he goes, now he's moving. Alright, see there's two major positions you can take with your TD. Either here or where that E25 went. But you have to have people spotting for you on this side, ideally. So he's going to set up in a position to try to shoot people on that corner. You saw where the artillery put their mark? That is where he is going to be aiming as well. Trying to catch people trying to go up into the bowl area. Tiger should be getting up there soon and be able to spot. Vader is in a weird spot there. I don't know why he's at that location. Trying to get double bushed to see. Yeah, he's double bushed, so he's not going to get spotted here. Smack the guy for once. Nice. Oh, the guy is not retreating. Oh. Oh, here they all are. Actually, interesting position. Being double bushed here, he's not going to get spotted. Thing that he's zooming out right before he pulls the trigger. Artillery got a shot in there. Yeah, not that long into the game. Already 2 minutes and has 1,000 damage. That was a little bit of a quick shot there. Could have waited, actually fully aimed. There you go. They're kind of snapping those shots in there. This range not quite as big of a deal because he does have the penetration to go through. Guys are not playing very smart. Unless he might have tracked him. He might have tracked him. Artillery will probably finish him off. If not, there you go. Alright. Nicely done. 2.5 minutes into the game, already at 2,000 damage. And 1 kill. I haven't watched this before, so it's kind of a live reaction. I do know it's an ace tanker game. Back up just a hair so he doesn't get spotted when he fires. Although, yeah, he's behind a bush there, so he shouldn't have a problem. Oh, let's see. Here's the IS finally moving up. Oh, now he's spotted. Yeah, that zooming out to fire kind of bit him there a little bit. Gotta be careful about enemies up on the perch. Little shot into that longer turret. Made a shell, but it is. There's SU. He's fired again. He should be able to get up here and finish him off. There's the other artillery. Second. Oh, no, that wasn't his kill. Someone else got it. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. You gotta watch out for those EDs up on the perch. He's gonna get behind one of these other tanks. Use it as cover. That's the nice thing is this thing is short enough that you can use a lot of other tanks as cover. That's gonna be the problem. He needs someone to spot. Oh, someone has spotted the Steyr. Oh, nice. 3,200 damage already. Actually blocked a round. Blocked 455. Oh, oh, oh. I think the building is in the way. Be now. Nicely done. Loaded that HE to finish him off. Gotta be careful, that T-29 is coming in from behind. Oh, he's gonna turn. Yeah, and he's gonna be the first target that 29 sees. Hit the track, but didn't track him. Alright, that one's done. Now they gotta find the Hellcat and the MT-25. The MT was on top of the hill. I think someone's already checked the hill. Okay, they found the Hellcat. Well, they haven't found it, but he just saw where it came from. One shot. Oh, and finished. The MT still is up on top. 4,100 damage, 807 assisting. Looks like spotting, actually. Oh, oh, can he see him? Oh, someone else got him. Alright, well that's going to be it for that battle. Let's go ahead and switch back to the battle results here. Alright, so 4139 damage, 807 spotting. High caliber, Confederates, because he hit at least 6 and hit the most on the team. Ace tanker, so not too bad. But yeah, that's definitely how you play this. Try to use that double bush mechanic to get those shots in and use your quick reload in order to punish those people that overextend. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. This is Mariner Gaming, and I'll see you on the battlefield.